Leon Rose and the Knicks have just made a very sneaky good move as New York has acquired a former top prospect who absolutely is still young and has potential in this league, as Mike Brown has also revealed his plans for this Knicks bench unit, specifically in regards to one of their key players next season, and we're going to break all this down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here. We're going to jump right into things, as always. If you guys are part of that 67% that's not subscribed, make sure to subscribe. We got the latest and greatest Knicks updates that you do not want to miss out on. We're having a bunch of fun on this channel right now, guys. It's the offseason. We're hanging out. We're making some good videos. We're going to get back to the live streams very, very soon. It's just summer's a little bit busy for me. There's a lot of topics going on with the Knicks, with basketball, the NBA, the NFL, and then also just spending some time in that summer sun. But let's jump into it. Leon Rose and the Knicks do not stop making moves. They're always making these small little intricate moves that always or almost always mean more than meets the eye. Obviously, some of these moves are not going to be world-changing. However, usually there's a rhyme or reason to everything the Knicks do. They're one of the most calculated front offices in the NBA. They're one of the best front offices in the NBA. As I've always said, they want to improve on the margins, and slowly as you keep doing that more and more and more, what you see is success start to culminate. And that's happened with the Knicks. They've become more successful ever since Leon Rose took over this team, and it was happening a bit slower and sort of methodically, not meticular, that's not a word. I guess meticulously is a word, but we're not here to play vocabulary. We're here to talk about Leon Rose. Obviously, in his first full tenure with the Knicks, they made the playoffs. Then after they missed because they just kind of changed things up, had a non-Thibodeau team with Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier, two signings that didn't work out. And they ended up with Jalen Brunson, and everything was great. But since then, the Knicks have kept making sneaky moves, and they just did another one, a very quiet acquisition in a trade that is going to help them if they play their cards correctly with this player, as it was revealed by the Westchester Knicks that they have acquired returning rights to Romeo Langford from the Motor City Cruise in exchange for the returning rights of the 10th overall pick in the 2025 International G League Draft, Hagen Haskawa? But regardless, the New York Knicks acquire Romeo Langford, a former top prospect in 2017 coming out of high school who committed to Indiana and showed up there as well. Now, Langford was in a very, very, very stacked up class, and, well, it's safe to say he did not turn out for what Boston was hoping he would be. Over his couple of year career thus far, which was spent with a mix of the Celtics and the Spurs, he put up 4.6 points, 2 rebounds, and 0.7 assists per game, shooting 43% from the field and 29% from deep, and a free throw percentage of 66%. His PER was an 8.5. Everything was below average for the shooting guard, who is really just a pure wing in this day and age of the NBA. Langford's a great athlete. On top of that, he's an excellent defender. That's really what his calling card is. The jump shot was always something that was going to be questionable, but he could drive to the hoop and score well, and also he could defend the ball well. The Knicks are aware of both these things, believe me. They're not just acquiring Romeo Langford to say, all right, well, look, we'll get Romeo Langford in here. I just grew a little bit. But they just did that because, frankly, they clearly see something in Langford, who still is young. He's not that old. He's 25 years old, 25, 26. He's young, man. He's a younger guy. He was drafted in 2019. And, look, Knicks fans were curious about him. They absolutely, for the most part, what we're seeing is guys who liked Langford saying, whatever happened to him, he was a top prospect coming out of high school. Will he be joining the Knicks Summer League squad? Leon's cooking in the G League, collecting Hoosiers, and then Hoosier legend as well. People are aware that he was great with his one and done at Indiana, and on top of that he was great in high school. Langford was someone who was very highly touted. I was a big fan of Romeo Langford. I loved this draft class in 2019. I started paying attention to them sometime around 2017-ish, and I would always say at the time, and I was so bad with draft prospect names. I still am to this day. This was well before I was going out there on YouTube or anywhere. I was saying this to my friends. I would be like, yo, I'm telling you, the next best player in the NBA is this Canadian dude. His name's Cameron Reddish. Because I kept getting RJ and Cameron Reddish mixed up. I was talking about RJ Barrett. RJ was a point guard at the time. I kind of think he should have stayed a point guard because it was kind of his natural position, but he was just a bit big. And Duke had Tyus Jones or Trey Jones. So, man, I love RJ Barrett. I hope it works out for him in Toronto. I hope they don't trade him. But Romeo Langford, I was also a big fan of. I was a big fan of Romeo Langford, RJ Barrett, Cameron Reddish. There was 3 of the top prospects at the time. And Langford, when he went off to Indiana, he balled out. He put up 16.5 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. Again, not a good three-point shooter. This is a guy whose best ability is defending the ball. Now, he is from Indiana, which led to him going there to a high degree. He put up around 20 PER with 45% from the field and 27% from 3. So we know the jump shot is not something that he's going to be used for, but the guard forward wing that he is, he's fluid. He could play a few different positions and he could guard 3 positions. He is good. I will swear by Romeo Langford, and I am biased towards that 2019 draft class. I'm not going to pretend like I don't have a personal bias towards it, but at the end of the day, I do actually still believe in the fact that Langford could figure it out. This happens with guys. They can't figure it out their first try, and then they get their second time around. The Knicks bring Langford into their system now where he'll play on the G League. And to answer the question that people are probably wondering, no, he will not be playing with the Summer League because at the time that he was acquired, the Knicks have already built their Summer League team, so they would have to waive someone and replace Langford with him. As of right now, it seems as if the Knicks are not going to do that, but that's also general feel. As I said, I have the one insider. I haven't heard anything on Romeo Langford, so I imagine he will not be playing with the G League. But what I do imagine is the Knicks will look at him, and this is going to be a guy that we're going to look at times and talk about a potential two-way deal when he's in the G League with the Westchester Knicks. That's going to be a big thing to think about and kind of discuss as time goes down. Now, the top 10 out of high school back then was RJ Barrett, followed by Zion Williamson and Cam Reddish, the Duke Big Three that obviously worked out fairly well until evidently they didn't and got eliminated in the Elite Eight, I believe. Now, after that, there's Bol, who also didn't really work out too well. Zion's obviously, he's great, but he's just never healthy. Then Romeo Langford was 5th. He was above guys like Nasir Little, who was super hyped up when he was going to North Carolina, Keldon Johnson, who was hyped up going there, Quentin Grimes, who stuck around in college for a few years. Also, Emmanuel Quickley was a little bit down this list as well. Anthony Simons, who's had a good NBA career thus far. And also, it sounds like the cops are going to arrest me outside. So maybe we should get going with this video and get into the second part of this because, frankly, I don't want to go to jail, or at least I want to get this video done before I do. Mike Brown has revealed his plans for his bench, specifically in regards to this man right here, new Nick Gershon Yabusele. Gershon Yabusele is someone who's a very versatile guy. It's one of the reasons why the Knicks brought him in, because they needed a forward who could also be a big guy, but also can shoot the 3. Yabusele fit all those needs and signed for a deal a little bit under the 5.7 mid-level exception, and he will be a key player for this Knicks bench going forward. He's a dog. He plays with that dog mentality, and I'm super excited to see because I think his game is going to fit really well in the playoffs. He's a decent defender. He's not going to shock the world with his defense, but he is a good enough defender to where things are going to get interesting for it. And Mike Brown did speak on Gershon Yabusele, who's really excited about, saying he's so versatile. He could play the 4 or the 5 and maybe the 3. We know about Mike Brown when it comes down to him. I love saying when it comes down after Mike Brown, it's just because it rhymes. But we know about Mike Brown. The man uses his bench, and he's going to be experimental. This is not Tom Thibodeau. He is very experimental with his units. He's not going to say, well, this guy is this position. We're never going to try him somewhere else. Brown is going to try Yabusele at the 3, and I'm excited to see that because it'll be interesting to see if it's more of a proverbial 3 where, like, he's out there with Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson / Karl-Anthony Towns, or if he's out there with Mitchell Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns. And I want to see that happen. I'm just curious, and we didn't get to see that with Thibodeau ever. We didn't get to see some experiment that feels like it's thinking outside the box, but who knows, maybe it'll work. First of all, that rebounding would be incredible. You definitely would want Jalen Brunson out on the court for some extra shooting there as well, and probably like Mikal Bridges, so you can kind of get that full two-way versatility and also have some guard play. Or Deuce McBride, honestly. Jalen Brunson, Deuce McBride, Yabusele, Towns, Mitch. Covers a lot of bases there. Could be an interesting lineup. I imagine that Mike Brown will use a lineup exactly like that at some point throughout this season. You could also throw JC Jordan Clarkson out there instead of Brunson, or with Brunson, in fact, but then the defense does get a little bit lacking outside of Mitchell Robinson there. But in regards to Yabu, he put up 11 points, 5.5 rebounds, 2 assists with nearly a steal per game. Shooting 50% from the field, getting 50% from the field, and also shooting 38% from 3, best above the arc as well, above the break, I should say, not above the arc. But he is able to hit the corner 3 as well, at the 36.4% on corner 3s. He shoots around 48, nearly half his shots are 3s, and that's going to be big with Mike Brown. This will probably go up a little bit, but since he's a versatile guy, they'll also try to get him down low where he is bouncy and can dunk the ball. Ask LeBron James. Yabu did dunk all over him that one time. But I'm interested to see how that works, and I'm really excited to go see how all this goes down. I hope the Knicks I hope we do see Romeo Langford in some capacity at some point, because I am a big fan of him. It's really the reason why I made this video more than anything, is because frankly, I just am a big fan of Langford's game. I've been a fan of him since I was a high schooler, dude. Now I'm in 2025. I graduated college over 2 years ago. Times are changing, but the Knicks, they're great. And that's great news. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If not, you can tell me to screw off in the comments down below if you feel like it. Like this, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, guys. Go Knicks.